first of all, thank you, Julian, for the wonderful talk. I think it's a nice segue to what I'm going to talk about. So, disclaimer, I am just an engineer. I'm not an economist. I'm not an alternate theorist. So this is based on my intuition, basically. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So I guess this was originally supposed to be a 20 minutes talk, but at the end we shortened it to 5 minutes. So I'm trying to speed run it as fast as possible. But I guess the high level I want to cover is that of the what, how, and why of different alternate design in protocol today. And I want to make some specific implication of like different protocol within each option. So basically, we'll do some case studies. So today we'll look at layer 1, and then we'll look at layer 2. So for layer 1, we'll look at MEV boost, we'll look at EIP 7732, and then we'll look at EA and ET options. And then on the layer 2 side, we'll look at first come, first serve, PG, and then time boost. So for each category, we'll look at what is being exchanged, like who is facilitating the exchange, and then we'll look at who captures the profit, and then we'll look at when the auction conclude and reveal, right? So for MEV boost is what we know today, right? And then if I'm Alice wants to build a block through Bob, the builder, I have to go through the relayer, and that is the auto protocol trust, and this is what we have today. And then another thing is that it doesn't scale long term because of everyone plays timing game these days. Because of that, this creates further friction for further updates like PODAS and Fossil. And then moving forwards, that we have EIP 7732, and then this changes the trust assumption. Therefore, you only need to trust the protocol. The protocol guarantees unconditional payment, and it guarantees builder safety. And then even within 7732, there are different designs such as block auction and slot auction, and each of them have like different trade-off. For example, like for block auction, you could have like a DA problem because of the hash gets committed first, but then the 6 Saturns, it gets revealed, nothing gets revealed. You may have a cancellation problem as well. For example, if the builder commits to something and then the price goes over the water and just doesn't reveal, right? And then slot auction has its own problems. Slot auction's problem such as that, like you have to trust, if you slot auction, that you may have an advantage by using the relayer, and then, but then at the same time, there probably is less transaction inclusion time. So here are mostly trade-off space that like between 7732 that like it's probably worth thinking more on like the comparison between slot auction and the block auction. Then there is EA and ET. So both EIP 7732 block auction and slot auction consist of like a timing game, which is possible. But then the idea of EA is that instead of like just in time for the slot off, you essentially do the auction that's further ahead of time. This is to reduce timing game. And then for ET, basically, instead of proposer choosing the builder, you have this protocol that essentially issues the tickets. And then because of that, you can enable like MEV burn type of design. But that also opens like concerns about like multi-slot MEV. So finally, like let's jump from layer 1 to layer 2, right? So today, layer 2s, there are even different auction mechanism, and then most of them are conducted through a centralized sequencer, and that is easy in a way that sequencer is trusted. So you have this private mempool guarantee, and then it's straightforward to reason about. And then you can do this very fast because like users love the UX of like fast confirmation, right? And then who collects the profit? Typically, it's the company that's operating the sequencer, or it's the DAO. Depends on how like decentralized the like basically how decentralized the layer 2 is. And then within different like auction of layer 2, there are first come first serve, there are PGA, and there are time boosts. And then basically like within each auction, there are implications on how it affects developers, dApps, and stuff like that, and UX. So I guess like the takeaway here is that like the auction design is like such a like fascinating space. It's such a profound space. It basically relies engineers to work closely with mechanism designer, with like game theorists, with the economists, and many more. So yeah, if anyone is interested in this type of design, like please talk to Rick, please talk to like people, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So now for a few questions, please raise your hand if you have any question. No question? Okay, well, thank you very much.